Good day everyone, I am Jensel Rita Barita from BSIT WAMAT. So I will be discussing the first theory, Piaget's Cognitive Developmental Theory, Children Think Differently from Adults. So according to Piaget, children are not just a smaller version of adults. Hindi lang sila kulang sa knowledge, iba talaga ang structure ng pag-iisip nila. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo pwedeng turuan ng bata the same way you teach an adult kasi iba ang level of understanding nila. Development happens in stages. So we have 4 stages dito. So sa bawat stages may sariling way of understanding the world ang mga bata. Piaget believes that children actively explore the world, build their own understanding, learn through experience. Hindi sila passive learners, para silang mini scientists na nag-e-experiment sa paligid nila. So, we have first stage, sensorometer, 0 to 2 years old, learning through senses and action. Simple responses to stimuli. Sa stages na ito guys, ang baby walang language, walang logic, pero learning is already happening. They learn through touching, seeing, hearing, tasting, and moving. Basically, body nila ang ginagamit nila para mag-isip. Example, imagine may baby ka, may hawak siyang laruan. Kapag nahulog ang laruan at natakpan, isipin niya na nawala na yon. Pero habang lumalaki siya, naiintindihan niya na kahit hindi niya na nakikita yon, nandyan pa rin yon. Ito ang tinatawag na object permanence. So, why do babies put everything in their mouth? Because that is their way of exploring the world. Ginagamit nila yung senses nila, especially yung taste and touch, para maintindihan kung ano yung bagay na yon. Safe ba yon, matigas ba yon, etc. So, next stage is pre-operational, 2 to 6 years old. Language development, no logical thinking yet, egocentric, self-centered thinking. So, dito nagsisimula ang pagsasalita nila. Paggamit ng imagination, pretend to play. Pero kahit marunong na sila magsalita, hindi pa rin sila logical thinkers. Ang thinking nila is based on appearance, based on imagination, hindi pa based sa logic. So, yung egocentric or self-centered thinking, egocentrism, hindi ibig sabihin na selfish sila. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa nila kaya makita ang perspective ng iba. Example, may batang nagtago, tinakpan niya yung mata niya. So, tapos, sa isip niya, hindi mo siya nakikita. Yun yung nasa isip ng bata. Bakit? Kasi akala niya kung anong nakikita niya, yun din ang nakikita mo. Kasi di ba pag tinakpan nila yung mata nila, madilim. So, tingin din nila, yung tingin nila sa'yo pag di mo sila nakikita. So, lack of conservation. Example din, 2 baso, parehong tubig, nilipat sa mas matangkad na baso. Magkaiba lang sila ng sizes yung baso, pero para sila ng laman. So, yung iniisip ng bata, mas madami laman ng matangkad na baso. Pero in reality, parehas lang sila ng quantity. So, meaning, sa stage na yon, nakapokus yung bata sa height, shape, appearance. Hindi pa nila naiintindihan ang quantity, yung logic. So, yung tanong, why can't children think logically at this stage? Because their brain is still developing. Nakapokus pa sila sa kung anong nakikita nila. Hindi pa nila kaya mag-analyze deeply or mag-isip ng cause and effect. So, next stage is concrete operational, 7 to 11 years old, logical thinking. Pero yung thinking nila is concrete situations lang, difficulty with abstract ideas. So, dito guys, nag-i-improve na ang thinking, marunong na sila mag-logic, mag-analyze, mag-solve ng problems, pero may limitation. Yung concrete is yung real things lang. Example, same experiment, 2 baso, parehong tubig. Ngayon, bata na siya, 8 years old na siya. So sa isip niya, pareho lang yan, nilipat lang yung laman dun sa baso na malaki. So, logical na siya mag-isip. Pero kapag tinanong mo, explain mo yung justice, mapapaisip pa yan sila. Kasi hindi pa sila abstract mag-isip. So, why do they need concrete? Because mas naintindihan nila ang bagay kapag nakikita or nahahawakan nila, hindi pa sila comfortable sa ideas na puro imagination lang. So, the last stage is formal operational, 12 and above years old. Abstract thinking develops. logical reasoning, and problem solving. Ito na yung stage natin mga teenagers. Kaya nyo na mag-isip ng abstract ideas, mag-analyze deeply, mag-imagine ng future. Example, teenager ka, iniisip mo, what if bumagsak ako? What if maging successful ako? Anong magiging future ko? Dito nagsisimula ang overthinking, self-awareness, decision-making. Meaning, hindi na lang what is, kundi what could be. Tanong, why do teenagers overthink more? Because kaya na nila mag-isip ng possibilities and consequences. Mas aware sila sa future, kaya mas marami silang iniisip. Summarize this theory. So guys, according to Piaget, ang thinking ng tao hindi agad mature. It develops step by step from simple sensory actions to complete and abstract reasoning. In short, yung baby, senses pa lang. Yung child, imagination. Yung older child, logic, concrete. Tapos yung mga teenager or teen is deep thinking. So we cannot expect a child to think like an adult because their cognitive abilities are still developing through stages.
Good day everyone. My name is Axel Bandos from BSIT 3A WAMAD. So today I will discuss Vygotsky Social Cultural Theory. Children learn through interaction and hands-on experience. So, social interaction. So, from the word social interaction, ito yung pagkikipag-interact ng bata sa ibang tao. Example ng kanyang pamilya, guro at kaibigan. Kung saan siya natututo sa pamamagitan ng gabay at komunikasyon. Ang social interaction ay ang tulay o daan kung paano natututo ang isang bata mula sa kanyang paligid. Or learning happens through others. Next naman is culture influence. So, ang cultural influence naman o kultura sa Tagalog o paniniwala at kapaligiran na kinalakihan ng bata, yung humuhubog sa pag-iisip at paraan ng pagkatuto ng bata. So, in short, natututo ang bata hindi lamang mag-isa dahil din sa tulong ng ibang tao at influence ng kultura niya. So, meron din tinatawag na Zone of Proximal Development or ZPD, where doon mas effective ang learning dahil yung pagkitan or hanggang saan lang yung kaya niyang gawin na mag-isa at yung kaya niyang gawin kapag may tumutulong. Example ng ZPD, if yung bata hirap siya sa math problems, di niya maintindihan, but if may guide ng teacher paano isolve, so kaya niya nang isolve yung math. Another naman, if hindi marunong magbasa yung bata, diba, ang unang magtuturo or mag-teach is sa kanya yung parents niya. So, edi alam niya na kung paano magmasa. Next naman is more knowledgeable other o MKO. Mas napapadali siya sa pag-intindi niya sa mga things or bagay-bagay na hindi niya pa kayang gawin na mag-isa. In short, mas natututo ang bata kapag may guide at support from others like sa parents, teachers, or some who guides learning from others. So, ngayon, explain ko naman sa inyo dito sa may diagram. So, dito muna tayo sa may inability. So, dito sa inability, ito yung mga bagay na hindi pa talaga niya kaya ng bata. Kahit tulungan pa siya masyado, or masyado pa itong advance para sa level niya. So, next one is ZPD or Zone of Proximal Development. Ito yung hindi niya pa kaya ng bata na mag-isa, pero kaya niya kung may tulong o gabay. So, dito din pumapasok yung MKO o More Knowledgeable Others para mag-guide. So, pinaka-importante sa atin ito, yung tulay, paano tayo natututo or nahuhubog. So, example na kanina, di ba? Nahihirapan yung bata sa multiplication, pero pag tinulungan siya ng teacher, yun, kaya niya nang gawin or isolve yung math problems or multiplication. Next naman is current ability. So yung current, ito naman yung mga bagay na kaya niya nang gawin yung natutunan niya after siyang turuan. So, kaya niya nang mag-isa.
Good day, everyone. Now we're going to discuss Erickson's psychosocial developmental theory. His theory was influenced by Freud's psychosexual theory, which have 5 stages. Now, but we discuss later on with Mr. Ferrer. On the other hand, Erickson's psychosocial theory have 8 stages, and in each stages there are certain crises that a person need to solve in a healthy way to develop in a healthy manner. And in Erickson's theory, he said that a development or a human development is a lifelong process. It doesn't stop when a person reaches adolescence. It continues until we grow older and until we reach our final breath. So, medyo magkaiba sila ng pananaw sa theory ni Freud na nag-stop sa adolescence. So now, let's go and let's dive into the first theory of Erickson's psychosocial development. So the first stage of Erickson's psychosocial development is what we call trust versus mistrust. In this stage, infant try to answer the question, can I trust the world? Because in this stage, a mother or mother figure plays a very important role in developing an infant's psychosocial development. So, for instance, if an infant is distressed or may mga kailangan siya, umiiyak, irritable, andyan yung parents niya to give what she or he needs. So, in this example, the infants develop trust that even if I struggle, even if there are distresses, I can make my way through this. So, for me, trust is this stage is a very important because a person who did not receive the amount of attention when he was an infant, he developed this trust. So, nahihirapan siyang magtiwala sa mundo or sa ibang tao. And for me, that's a very challenging because when you find it hard na ibigay yung trust mo sa ibang tao, there's a certain weight every single day na okay, pwede ko pa siyang pagkatiwalaan or totoo ba yung mga sinasabi niya. So there's a unhealthy development na nangyari. So probably yung mga nahihirapang mag-trust ay yung mayroong background or may pinanggagalingan yun. And every stage of Erickson's psychosocial development, dapat yung positive ay nangingibabaw, pero it doesn't mean na dapat yung negative ay mawawala. For instance, in this stage, trust. So, kung masyado, dapat nangingibabaw yung trust, pero dapat may mistrust din. Because kung tinanggal yung mistrust and laging trust na lang, may tendency na maging ut-uto tayo or lagi tayong natitake advantage kasi lagi tayong nagtitiwala na and wala ng mistrust. So, dapat there's a balance between the positive and the negative to be able to develop or to be able a person to develop in a healthy way. The second stage of his theory is what we call autonomy versus shame and doubt, or versus shame. In this stage, the child ay nag-a-attempt ng maglakad from crawling to walking, and nag-a-attempt na rin siya magsalita or to her own, or kagaya na sabi ng kapatid ko, by myself. So in this stage, there's many challenges a child may face. For instance, nag-a-attempt siyang tumayo, and then natutumba siya, or kaya naman kapag nag-a-attempt siyang damitan yung sarili niya, minsan baliktad yung damit. So there's challenges na that's the challenges na nakakatulong sa development, so psychosocial development ng isang bata. So for instance, kapag ang parents is first time parent or firstborn pa nila yung bata, may tendency na nagiging overprotective sila, na kapag nadapa, tinatayo nila agad, or kapag nagkamali, napapagalitan, or merong nasasabing hindi maganda na nakaka-apekto sa development ng bata. Well, hindi naman yun masama, pero kapag kasi nasobrahan, nade-develop yung what we call shame and doubt, na kapag for instance sa school, kapag may recitation for instance, and then sasabihin pala ng bata or ng student, "Ma'am, sir, try lang po," or nagda-doubt na sila agad na mali yung sagot nila. And kapag masyado silang naging dependent sa magulang nila, na every galaw nila parang may gusto silang gawin, always no na lang, or let me help you, without the parents letting their child to do it on her own, nade-develop yung pagiging dependent nila sa magulang nila. Na for instance, kapag merong project sa school, yaan mo na, nandiyan naman si mama, ganon. So hindi nade-develop yung autonomy ng bata. So however, in this stage, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, there should be a balance between the two, na hindi dapat laging autonomy na lang yung bata na without shame and doubt. Kasi kapag for instance nasa gathering kayo, and then walang shame yung bata, kukuha na lang siya ng pagkain na without knowing if pwede na ba talagang kumuha ng pagkain. Or kapag nasa church, kapag maingay siya, there's no shame. So there should be a balance between the two, na dapat hindi lang panay autonomy, there should also be a shame. Now let's talk about the third stage of his theory, the initiative versus guilt. In this stage, nagkakaroon na ng certain goals yung bata, na like, I wanna be a teacher, I wanna be a doctor, or I wanna be a pilot. However, in this stage, there should be a healthy amount of guilt, because kapag masyadong pana-initiative na lang and walang guilt, may mga bagay kasi na na may limitations kasi bata pa sila. There's a certain goals or na hindi pwede or hindi angkop sa kanila. So for instance, they want to watch a movie, and then that movie pala is hindi appropriate, masyadong SPG para sa age nila. Or for instance, may initiative sila na kuhanin yung lollipop or yung pagkain nung kaklase nila sa school, and there should be a guilt kasi it's wrong na kuhanin or magbuli. So in this stage, like what I've said sa previous stages, na there should be a balance between the positive and the negative. The next stage of his theory is what we call in industry versus inferiority. In this stage, siguro grade grade school na yung bata. Nagkakaroon na siya ng interest magsulat, magbasa or mag-drawing, and to be able to develop the industriousness or pagiging masipag ng bata, kailangan whenever she draw or magaling siyang magsulat, nabibigyan ito ng praise, ng reward to be able to develop that industriousness. However, inferiority may came from being comparing to others na, well, it's healthy when yung inferiority na yun ay nagdudulot ng challenge na kailangan galingan pa ng bata kasi may mas magaling sa kanya. However, kapag yun ay masyadong mataas kaysa sa industriousness, nagkakaroon ng imbalance kasi mas nagiging feeling ng bata is inferior siya or mas mahina siya sa iba. So, kailangan maging balance yung dalawa na yun, na mas magtaas si industriousness kaysa kay inferiority. Now, let's talk about the fifth stage, the identity versus role confusion. According to Erikson, this stage is the very important stage wherein you discover or you develop your identity, what you believe in relations or in politics, what you stand on, for instance, in abortion or death penalty, what you stand on that. And identity confusion, lagi kang nagmamadali, parang you compare yourself na si ganito, ito na, so how about me? You don't know who you are or your goals in life, or nahihirapan ka na mag-decide kanino ka ba talaga ma-attract, or kapag may mga standards, for example beauty standards or family standards, kung ano yung mga standards na yun, doon ka, and you don't know who you are, kung sino ba talaga yung susundan mo. And then kapag when you don't meet that standard, nagkakaroon ka ng self-doubt, na-lower yung self-esteem mo, and that's role confusion. And the next stage is the intimacy versus isolation. So ito may kaugnay sa identity versus role confusion, because your intimacy, maikupan mo yung intimacy if you know your identity. Intimacy is your commitment to something, not only in a romantic way, but also on your job, on your career, your commitment sa mga yun. So, when you know your identity, so may sense or mayroon kang intimacy sa mga bagay na yun. However, on the other hand, you're confused, you don't know who you are, may tendency na you isolate yourself. The second to the last stage of Erikson's psychosocial developmental theory is what we call generativity versus stagnation. Generativity means sharing your knowledge to the younger generation, share your skills or what you've learned in your life, because at this stage it's nandun na tayo sa may adulthood. And the stagnation means that to keep it all yourself, or sa'yo, kung ano yung alam mo, sa'yo lang. You're greedy of your of what you've learned in your life. That's stagnation. And the last stage of Erikson's theory is the integrity versus despair. In this stage, it's all about your fulfillment in life. Kung integrity meaning you fulfilled all what you need, or na-fulfill mo yung goals mo, your purpose in life. Wala kang regrets, or wala kang regrets at all. And despair means there are so many regrets in your life na dapat ginawa ko to when I was still young, or dapat hindi ko to ginawa. It's all about your regrets in life. That's despair. So we've learned that in Erickson's theory, there are 8 stages na in each stages, there are certain crises na kailangang ma-solve or ma-solve so that a person can develop in a healthy way. And it emphasizes that in his theory, it's all about psychosocial rather than biological factors. That's all for my discussion. Thank you for listening. Let's hear now the next reporter.
So, good day everyone. Today, I will discuss the psychosexual developmental theory by Sigmund Freud. Before that, I am Jerus Rahim D. from the SID 3A WAMAD. So, according to Freud, our behavior is shaped by our childhood experience, conscious desires. Ibig sabihin, kahit hindi natin namamalayan, may epekto pa rin ang past experience natin sa present behavior. And he also believed that personality is the most formed by age of 5. So kung ano ang na-experience natin during early childhood, malaking factor na ito kung paano tayo mag-isip at kumilos habang tumatanda. And then we have 5 stages, psychosexual stages of development. Una is the oral stage. So birth to 1 year. So where the mouth is the main source of pleasures, the problem here can lead to dependency or aggression in adults. Next is anal stages. Anal stage, 1 to 3 years. So focus on toilet training. Fixation may cause someone to be overly neat or messy. The third stage is phallic stage. From age 3 to 6, focus on the genetical and involves the Electra complex. Unresolved conflicts can lead to vanity or relationships issues. During the latency stage, age 6 to 12, sexual feelings are dormant and children focus on school and relationships. This stage mainly develops social and academic skills. And finally, the genetical stage. So, starting at the puberty focuses on matured sexual relationships. Healthy adults emerge if early conflicts are resolved. Now, let's talk about the stages focus on different pleasures area. Freud said that development happens in different stages, and each stages focus on a specific pleasures area of the bodies, also called erogenous zone. For example, may focus sa mouth, anus, or other part of depending on the stage. Each stage also has developmental conflicts. Kapag hindi natin na-resolve ng maayos ang conflict, it can affect a person's personality later in life. So, importante na ma-handle ng maayos ng bawat stage para magkaroon ng healthy development. Now, let's talk about the libido fixation, and development. In these slides, we can see that libido or energy shifts from one body area to another as a person grows. So, habang nagbabago ang stages, nag-iiba rin ang focus ng pleasures or energy. If a person fails to resolve a conflict in stage, maglilid to ng fixation. So, ibig sabihin may behavior na nadadala habang matanda. But if all stages are successfully complete, it can lead to healthy and well-balanced personality. So overall, Freud's theory shows how important early childhood experiences are in shaping who we are today. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephen Tomvi Pasco, and I'll be reporting about Bandura's social learning theory, and I'll be one of the last, if not the last, reporter for our group. So please stay tuned. So Bandura's social learning theory has been interpreted in different ways, but what does Bandura's social learning theory entail? What is it really? Where did it originate? And how did it came about? So, Bandura's social learning theory is rooted upon the observational learning, learned by watching others' behavior and by model imitating actions by the parents, by your parents, by the peers, by the people around a certain person or other people. So, the Bandura's social learning theory, it's not only for reinforcement, but also learning can happen without rewards or punishment. The sources of learning, which is mentioned as well, is first direct observation, or having the means to observe it at first hand. Verbal instruction, having instruction from people or from those who have experience or those who gives instruction. One person could also learn from those. And second would be media, through media. Third would be from media such as books, films, and characters. So those are some of the modern or much specified learning techniques that Bandura's social learning theory is. But I'm going to dive deeper so that you would have more definition and know and learn more what is it about Bandura's social learning theory. So Bandura's social learning theory, its content was developed by, of course, none other than Albert Bandura during the 1960s to 1970s. So Bandura's social learning theory emphasizes learning through observation and imitation, challenges tradition, behaviorism, learning only through reward or punishment. And the key understanding or the key study that was done by Bandura himself was the Bobo doll in 1961. What does the Bobo doll experiment, what happened during that experiment? So the Bobo doll experiment was, there was a set of kids and there was a set of parents, and their parents were given a Bobo doll, in which they torture, they do cruel things to the doll, and they don't get apprehended, or they do not have any sanctions or any punishment by doing cruel things to that doll. So that was the whole experiment, for the children to see and observe, and to learn how adults or how their parents would interact with the Bobo doll. And then after few observations and after the time being, the children were given the same Bobo doll, and through time of exposure with how their parents interacted with the Bobo doll, they observed, and then after on they imitated. They were doing cruel things as well to the doll, because they have learned and they have imitated the parents interacted in a cruel way to the Bobo doll, with and knowing and learning that there is no punishment or no sanction given to them. So the children are enticed, or they are made to learn, or they learn that maybe doing these things to the doll really does not matter. It does not have a life. It does not have feelings. So maybe it's okay for me to do cruel things. So that was the initial learning that the children was able to observe, because of course when you see someone who is higher than you, or someone who is more experienced than you, like the parents, you would think that everything that they do is the right, or they have already thought about those kind of consequences, and doing cruel things to the Bobo doll does not have any consequences or punishment. So the children imitated it, and it showed that Bandura's social learning theory is not only about the learning in books or learning in the normal culture, but also it is connected to our environment, onto the people that we are surrounded with, and how they interact with other things. We also adapt and we interact the same way, because we have learned and we have seen and observed that maybe this is how it should be done, this is how they do it, so I do it as well. So it's like a bandwagon. It's like, in a sense, like a bandwagon, but it's not really a bandwagon, but it may be a part of a bandwagon, because people start to learn what they see and what they observe from other people, or from what's common in the public mass. So that's the whole thought of Bandura's social learning theory, meaning that people learn by watching others and the consequences of their actions. And Bandura actually identified 4 key processes in the Bandura social learning theory. First one is attention. In the example given in the Bobo doll experiment, the parents did cruel things to the doll. So it got the attention of the children, that it's bizarre in a way that they are enticed, or they are intrigued. What are my parents doing? What are they doing to the doll? So that's the first process. Then after that, retention, because for a time being, when children observe continuously and daily how the parents interacted with the Bobo dolls, they are able to they are able to remember, and there's that lingering retention that they remember what was observed during the time being that the Bobo doll experiment happened. So after that, the number 3 would be reproduction. It would be after learning and after remembering that the interaction of the parents to the Bobo doll, the children starts to imitate it. The children starts to reproduce it. They start to do it themselves as well, because the interest was piqued already. So they want to experience it themselves as well. So that's how they learned. There's how they learned how to interact with the Bobo doll. And then lastly would be motivation. Since the parents did not receive any punishment, it was like it felt like it's normal. It felt like it's common. It felt like it's right. So the motivation is there that nothing will happen to me even if I do, or even if I become cruel to the Bobo doll. So that's the whole process of how the Bobo doll experiment in 1960s happened under Bandura's experiment. And lastly, some of the key concepts and applications, first would be vicarious reinforcement, learning from others' rewards. So others learn, or you learn from others. We have two under this: vicarious reinforcement and vicarious punishment. So reinforcement meaning because there's a reward, or because there is no punishment, you try to do it as well. vicarious punishment, when there's a punishment, you try to avoid punishment because no person in this world would want to get hurt. And then second would be self-efficacy. Avoid belief in one's ability to succeed. Believing that the children, they are capable to do the same thing, or they want to experience the same thing as their parents. So that's a part as well. So why does it matter? Why does the Bandura social learning theory matter, and why should we talk about it? So first, it explains learning in school, media, and social behavior. That it's not only in the house, or it's not only in the home that we learn and we observe things, because children are naturally gifted, and they are like a blank canvas. When they see something, when they are able to imitate other people, the blank canvas becomes tinted. It becomes tinted with what they see and with what they observe. So after that, we also have the influences, teaching methods, parenting, and psychology. It's not just about their observation as well, but it's about it can also entail the influences of professors or teachers' teaching methods. That if a teacher is a soft-spoken, or if the teacher is able to reason out the things that they teach on a classroom, then the children who are able to express, are able to observe these interactions with the professor or the teacher, they'll be able to adapt it as well. So meaning they would, if the teacher is calm and collected, so that there is a huge chance that the students will pick up that same kind of value and discipline, that they should always be calm and collected, so that they be able to go about things the same way, or in the same manner that they have observed their teachers or professors. And lastly would be, it helps understand behaviors like aggression, habits, and motivation. So it is true what they say, that your actions show the things that you've learned. If one person is shows ways, or shows different things, or bizarre actions, or even bizarre ways to do about things, you need to understand, or you need to be able to pinpoint that maybe that child, that person, that kid have experienced or have observed that same kind of action, maybe from his or her parents, from siblings, from the people he or she sees every day, from the neighbors, from the teachers. So the Bandura social learning theory, it tackles about learning through observation. Then after observation, you retain. There is a retention or remembrance. Then after remembrance, you try to do it. So Bandura's learning theory goes on circle with that, the sources of learning, such as the direct observation, verbal instruction, and through media and environment themselves. So that is the totality of Bandura's social learning theory that I'm going to discuss. If you want more, and if you need more information about that, you could DM us, or you could personally message us to be able to explain to you in deeper terms how and what and why is Bandura's social learning theory made. So thank you very much.
So good day everyone, I am Mariel Roque, and this time we'll talk about Bowlby's attachment theory. And before that, I'm going to ask some sets of questions before we proceed, and I want you to analyze yourself if you relate to any of these questions. So first question, Comfortable ka pa mag-open up ng mga problems mo, either sa partner mo, sa friends mo, o sa parents mo. Or isa ka ba sa kailangan mo ng constant reassurance lang, like okay lang ba tayo, or naging anxious ka ba kapag late mag-reply yung kausap mo, or less attention na lang yung binibigay sa'yo? Or are you someone naman na nahihirapan mag-open up ng mga feelings mo, ng mga problema mo, or mas gusto mong sinasarili mo yung mga problema mo? Or are you someone naman na parang nahirapan kang magtiwala sa isang tao, or gusto mo ng closeness sa isang tao na to, pero tinutulak mo pa rin silang palayo? So if you relate to any of these questions, baka may certain attachment style ka, and let's talk about them now. So Bowlby's attachment theory, it focuses on the early relationships with the caregivers, and it influences the social development throughout the child's life. So Bowlby's attachment theory, it is how the children form an emotional bond with their caregivers. And yung mga early relationships na to ay nakaka-affect kung paano makipag-relate or mag-build ng relationship sa iba habang sila lumalaki. For example, kung lumaki ka sa supportive na family, mas confident and trusting ka, pero kung feel mo naman ay ignored ka or less supported, feeling mo mas parang nahirapan ka magtiwala sa iba. So, next slide. So, Bowlby's attachment theory is an innate need for attachment, and children are born needing connection, and it is a survival function. So, attachment is important kasi babies need connection to feel safe as they grow. It helps them to grow emotionally and socially. Kapag strong yung attachment, mas confident yung bata, at may confidence sila na mag-try ng mga new things, or they tend to be risk takers. Pero kapag yung bata naman ay less supported, mas nagiging anxious sila or natatakot. So, caregiver relationship provides safe haven, the comfort and security, and secure base, the exploration. So, let's go back to the circle of security. So, una muna tayo dito sa secure base. Ito yung pinaprovide ng caregiver kung saan ay parang hinahayaan nila na mag-explore yung mga bata. Hinahayaan nilang mag-explore, mag-discover yung mga bata, kasi syempre, kids are always curious about different things. Kaya kapag hinahayaan natin sila mag-explore, they tend to be more confident on what they do. But of course, caregivers must give also guidance instead of control, and there's a big difference between guidance and control, because with guidance, it helps the children grow and help them with their decision making, whilst control, it gives them limitation. Kunwari, pagka nakita mong naglalaro sa lupa yung bata, with guidance, tuturuan mo lang siya na huwag niyang hawakan yung mukha niya or yung bunganga niya kapag marumi na yung kamay niya with the dirt. Pero kung with control naman, papaglitan mo na or babawalan mo na yung bata na maglaro sa lupa kasi marumi. So, there's a big difference there. Pag guidance, it helps them to grow. Pag control naman, it is limiting them. And next one is safe haven. Ito naman yung binabalikan nila yung caregiver nila kapag natatakot sila or nasasaktan sila. Of course, kapag nararamdaman ito ng mga bata, they seek comfort and safetyness. So, that's a circle of security. Pag hinahayaan natin sila mag-explore, mag-discover, tapos kapag nasaktan sila or natatakot sila, babalik sila sa caregiver for comfort. And here we have 4 different attachment styles. But first, we'll talk about the secure attachment style or the consistent care. It is the self-assured, direct, and responsive. So, pagka nakarelate ka kanina sa question na kaya mong mag-open up ng mga nararamdaman mo sa partner mo or sa friends mo or sa parents mo, ikaw ay comfortable and trusting. Kaya mo mag-open up at hindi ka madaling mag-overthink. Ito yung mga batang feeling nila supported talaga sila. Ito yung mga nag-guide talaga sila, na-comfort talaga sila ng mga nararamdaman nila. Ito yung mga batang tinulungan na nag-express ng mga nararamdaman nila, hindi yung parang pinapagalitan na nararamdaman nila yung ganito. And next naman, we have the insecure or the inconsistent care. And under this, we have 3 different attachment style, which are the ambivalent, avoidant, and the disorganized. So, the ambivalent or the anxious attachment style, ito yung preoccupied, self-doubting, anxious, and sensitive. Ito yung mga taong anxious or clingy, ang madalas mag-overthink. So, ito naman kapag nagre-root din ito syempre sa childhood nila. And also, these kids tend to grow up as people pleasers. Bakit? Kasi, anxious nga, di ba? Kasi kapag parang dapat may maganda silang magawa para maging belong sila, para accepted sila. Kasi there might be times na nung bata sila ay lagi silang napipraise sa mga ginagawa nilang maganda or kapag may mga achievements sila. Pero kung nag-fail naman sila, parang disappointed na yung mga caregivers niya. So feeling ng bata, dapat kailangan niyang laging mag-excel para accepted siya, para loved siya lagi. So they tend to grow up to have an anxious attachment style or tend to become a people pleaser. So next one naman is the avoidant. Ito yung mga distant. Ito yung mga self-reliant, mga avoidant. So this one naman, ito yung mga nahihirapan mag-open up or mas gustong solohin yung mga problema nila. So bakit? Paano ito nag-start sa childhood nila? So ito naman, perhaps nung bata siya, parang gusto niya ng tulong with a certain problem, pero parang pinapagalitan lang siya or dinidismiss lang siya, parang kaya mo na yan, something like that. Kaya yun, they tend to rely on themselves na lang. Or minsan kapag nag-express sila ng feelings sila, like umiiyak sila, papagalitan pa sila ng caregiver nila. So in the end, parang pipigilan talaga ng bata yung nararamdaman niya. Pipigilan niya yung iyak niya para lang hindi magalit yung caregiver niya. So they tend to bottle up their feelings just to avoid conflicts. And next one naman, we have the disorganized. Ito yung mga laging nako-confused. Ito yung mga gusto ng closeness pero tunatulak pa rin nila yung taong palayo. Or parang nahihirapan silang magtiwala sa ibang tao. They have trust issues. So, paano ito nagsisimula in their childhood? So, ito naman yung mga batang parang dinedepende nila kung paano sila gumalaw. Depende sa mood ng kanilang caregiver. Ito yung minsan yung caregiver nila parang sobrang sweet niya sa bata, sobrang close nila, lagi niyang trinitreat, tapos biglang mamaya lagi na lang agagalit, mamaya bigla siyang papaluin, something like that. Kaya hindi alam ng bata kung paano siya gumalaw, depende sa mood ng kanyang caregiver. Kaya parang lagi niyang pinapanood yung caregiver niya kung masaya pa siya ngayon or in a bad mood ba siya. Kaya nahirapan yung bata kung paano siya gumalaw. Kaya hindi nila alam kung paano sila mag-express ng kanilang sarili because they are depending their actions on their mood, on the mood of their caregivers. So these are the different attachment styles of OB. And our early attachments shapes us on how we build relationships today, and understanding them helps us improve on how we connect with each other. So in the end, yun nga, iba-iba tayo ng attachment style. And Understanding them helps us build healthier and stronger relationships, especially kapag ka nasa relationship ka talaga sa isang tao. Need nyong alamin yung attachment style ng isa't isa para alam nyo kung paano isolve yung mga problems ninyo without hurting much each other. So that's all for the Bulbous Attachment Theory. Thank you.